Hello, future junkies. So, you're under 21 and you're thinking, should I do drugs? And I'm here to tell you, no. But before you click away, the second answer is, no, you shouldn't do them. But the third answer is, if you do them, there's a couple of things you should know. First time I ever smoked a joint was when I was 13 years old, which is a long time ago. I'm now a fucking old fart. I was with a friend and she was, I think, 18. She got it for me and we smoked weed and I thought it was cool. The second time I did it, I had to throw up. The third time I did it, I had to throw up. And then somebody in my family got in really big trouble with way too much cannabis use, and I just didn't touch it for years. And that really gave me the opportunity to really slowly get into this whole thing, because I think I hated old people telling me not to do something as a kid. I hated it. I thought nobody should have anything to do with what I did. But what you realize when you get older, and this is Grandpa telling you, is that there are just certain lessons that you have to learn first before you start screwing around with all that stuff. So let me put it this way. There are dangerous drugs and there are not so dangerous drugs. But even the not so dangerous drugs can really screw you up a little, because they can trick you into using more than you actually want to. And that's where their danger lies. So here are a couple of quick tips for you. First, education, 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 education. Just don't use anything ever that you know nothing about. Just say no. If somebody offers you something and you haven't read a single word about it, that's a very decent rule to say no, maybe later, after I watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos. Because some of these things can be lethal after once trying them. Not addictive after once trying them, lethal after one time trying them. If you know nothing about milligrams, dosing, what MDMA is compared to 2CB, how you should dose DMT compared to cannabis, I don't know, then you are walking in a minefield. And this is the same for anybody that's 40, 30 or 20. But if you're 15, it's just, you have even more responsibility weighing on your shoulder. You don't want to disappoint your mom and dad by not coming home to them. So that's rule number one. Just say no to anything you know nothing about. Second rule is, be aware of what habit-forming drug use is. If you take something once on a Friday night with a bunch of friends and you're partying and you did the whole dosing thing right and it was wonderful, sure. But the moment you have to do, say, homework and you smoke a doobie, then you're just not doing things right, because smoking weed really affects your memory. So it's like going home with a boy or a girl that you know is bad news, but you do it anyway because he or she is so hot. You shouldn't do it, because before you know, you're basically chained into whatever this person wants from you, and you just want to go on with your life, and you suddenly realize that you're just so hooked to this one person that they won't let you go, and you're stuck in a relationship for years, and it's... Okay, anyway, so whenever you start doing a certain substance, always ask yourself the question, why am I doing it? When am I doing it? Is this? How much did it cost? Is it really worth it doing it right now? Third tip: before you use anything, try to figure out if there's any form of quality control in your area. Can you test your drugs anywhere? Can you send a sample? Can you get some sort of testing kit so you know what the substance is? I mean, it's really important, because this is a black market, and in a black market, hardly anybody is looking out for your health. So you are solely responsible for the fact that you make it through this whole thing alive and sane. Fourth tip: if you have any sort of psychological issues, then please just really, really take care. I think my tip would be that if you really have something like this, then go out with a bunch of your best friends to a safe location, and all of that, and just use a fraction. Just start with a little bit. You have the rest of your life ahead of you to try whatever the fuck you want. But if you just start with just a tiny itsy bitsy little bit, then you know how to gradually build on whatever you did. Again, this is the same for anybody, even if you're over 21 as well. But you know, just take care. This is me trying to like talk some sense into you as a kid, because I knew that as a kid I wouldn't listen to anybody. And maybe you won't even listen to me right now because and then if you started with that little bit, then also be honest to yourself. Did things go wrong? Should you just stop? There is the idea that you can be clean or not clean. Clean meaning that you don't use any drugs. And I guess the other side of that would be a junkie. There is a whole gray area in between, and you have to figure out for yourself where you fit in that gray area. But if you do have these psychological problems and you don't take care about this, you will ruin your life for the rest of your life, and that's just horrible. And then the fifth piece of advice I have for you: always know more than your friends. Be a fucking smartass about it. Just tell people, no, you shouldn't do that. Yes, you should do that. Take care of this, take care of that. People won't see you as a smartass. People will see you as the person who actually knows about it. So if this can be an educational battle between you and your friends who knows more about it, that's just all the more wonderful. Also, sixth piece of advice: order your drugs online. Or sixth piece of advice: try to find somebody you trust to buy it from. Don't go to fucking sketchy ass shit. This can go wrong, you know. That's just horrible. I can't send you anything. No, I will not send you anything. But you have to figure out for yourself how you can get high quality drugs that won't kill you, and just don't be stupid about it. Seventh piece of advice: maybe talk to your parents about it, depending on what they'll say. But maybe be honest about it. I wasn't. I was never honest about it. I never told my parents. I think my parents still don't know what I use. I mean, I hope they don't see this video. Maybe my dad sees it. Hi dad. I'm sure my mom is never on YouTube. So they to this, and I'm over 30. So it's even I nowadays still feel like a child in front of my parents when it comes down to drug use. It's like, and if it's not your parents, then maybe some other adult somewhere who may know about this, that you trust, that you know is a valuable source, and who isn't being a tough guy about this shit. Isn't being like, oh fuck yeah man, you can do all this shit. No, it's about being smart. It's not about being cool, it's about being smart about it. These psychedelic substances or weed or some of these other like uppers can be really fun and they can really enrich your life, but if you use them in the wrong way, then they can ruin your life. And probably this video or anybody else's advice won't stop you from whatever you already planned on doing, but I do hope that you take a couple of these pieces of advice into account, and if for whatever reason while editing this I have some other pieces of advice, here they are. Thanks so much for watching this video. I try to do my best to change the conversation about drugs that we're having, because I think that things like just say no basically are an irresponsible way of ignoring whatever is happening already. People use drugs. I think we should have an open, normal conversation about it. If you agree, then please join this fight in this drug war. You can subscribe or support me on Patreon. Both would be equally fantastic. I could really use your help. Please watch some of my other videos. I believe some people are blocking them for people under 21. So if that is the case, I am really sorry. I hope this video doesn't get blocked. I think that would be ridiculous. So thanks so much for watching. My name is Thijs and I will see you next time.